are so welcome back to my YouTube channel. And I am so excited, like really excited, and I'm grateful for your support for my first video. Oh my god, I really did not even expect those numbers of views, but I'm so grateful, and I'm grateful for you all who encouraged me in the comment section. I promise I wouldn't let you guys down, and I'm so grateful and thankful for your support. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, this is Let's Talk with Peculiar. And please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So right now we're going to be talking about a sensitive topic, like you could see in the thumbnail. It's actually a little story about my life as a preacher's kid. So we'll just jump right into it. So for some of you who know me personally, you know I'm a preacher's kid. I'm a pastor's daughter. And for some of you who don't know me, now you know. So what does it feel like being a pastor's daughter in Africa? Because maybe it's different somewhere else. But how does it feel like being a pastor's daughter in Africa? It is difficult. It's actually one of the most difficult part of being alive. I'll just say that. So being a pastor's daughter is actually really hard, especially being a pastor's daughter in Africa, because people have these ideas in their mind, or this image of how you're supposed to be, or what you're supposed to grow up to be. So there's a lot of controversy that goes on about you being a pastor's daughter and not growing up the way the church wants you to be. So what's the first most difficult part of being a pastor's daughter is the pressure. The pressure the pressure of wanting to live up to the standards of the church and what the church actually wants you to be. Like, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. For example, you're not allowed to make friends out of the church, or you're not allowed to make friends with the people the church considers as unbelievers. You're not supposed to dress in a particular way. In some churches, you're not even allowed to wear makeup. So that's how difficult it is being a pastor's daughter in Africa. So what are the common beliefs people have about pastors' children? Well, people normally believe pastors' children are the worst, like worst. They consider them as, they say, since your father is a pastor, and since the devil cannot get to your pastor, the devil gets to the gets to the children, which is actually a very, very wrong belief. We pastors' kids are good. We are also good. We have good qualities. Although many people don't see it to be that way. For example, you have a lot of pressure. You have the pressure of being perfect. People expect you to feel perfect. But people out there forget to know that we are human also. And I think one of the greatest mistakes, or let's say the first crime of a pastor's child, is being human. People don't expect you to be human. They feel like you being human is a crime. You're supposed to be perfect. Singing in church, all involved in all church activities, you have to be like straight. But it doesn't happen. We also are liable to mistakes. We make mistakes. We are all human. And so being human is actually the first crime we commit without even knowing. So I'll just tell you like a little story. Like, I remember one time I went to some part of town called Commercial Avenue in the area where I grew up. And there was this lady who met me, and she was like, "Oh my god, Peculiar, you're wearing trousers? Does your father even know that you wear trousers?" And I was like, hello, I left from home. I didn't leave from a bush. I actually left from my house to wherever I was going to. So yeah, my father knows I'm wearing trousers. And what is even the crime in wearing a trouser? People believe that pastor children should only put on skirts, gown, and you should always, have your hair wrapped and stuff like that. So those are the common beliefs of the common beliefs people have about pastors' children. So this is just to say we are human, we're liable to mistakes, we're not perfect, we're not supposed to be saints, and we are just like any other person out there. So it's not good to judge or stereotype us in some kind of form. So now down to my main topic. How I felt like after my first kiss. Oh my god, this is so, should I say, funny or embarrassing to talk about? But yeah, it's a very funny story, and I think I have to share share it with you all. So I had my first kiss like high school. Yeah, so this guy kissed me. I wasn't the first kiss. He was like in high school. And you know, growing up in the church, you're being told if you as much as just go close to a boy, you've sinned. Not only sinning, like if you just as much as just hug, oh my god, you're pregnant. So those are the things, the kind of beliefs we grew up with in the church, in Sunday school. You're not supposed to go close to the opposite sex, you're not even supposed to make friends with them. So I'm sorry, but this is really funny. So back in high school, we had like this high school party sometime, and then I attended the party, which is even out of the law, like me attending the party. If you're a pastor's kid, you know what I mean. Like, yeah, so I attended this party, and you know, drinks, I'm sorry, but I was a teenager. Yeah, like I said, I'm human, and I made some mistakes then too. So so I think in the course of this party, like this guy kissed me, and boom, Genesis to Revelations, you know, came flashing through my mind like straight to hell. We've committed the greatest sin. And that was the first kiss ever, and it came in like this surprising manner. Like I didn't have time to, you know, process it, digest it, or even realize what actually went on. But the moment it flashed through my mind, I took off. And when I got home, I was thinking and thinking, and I kept praying and asking God for forgiveness, because at the back of my mind I had committed the worst sin. You know, I couldn't tell anybody about it. I couldn't tell my sister, I couldn't tell even my friends, because I was afraid of being judged. So I remember I confessed 7 times a day. Like that day I asked God for forgiveness 7 times. Like every time it crossed my mind, right, every time that thing crossed my mind, I had to ask for forgiveness. I had to ask for forgiveness. For 1 week I kept asking God for forgiveness for like every time, every moment it popped up. And because of the way I was brought up, or the way pastors' kids are brought up, or the way kids in church are brought up, you're made to understand that the least thing you do is a very big sin. I'm not saying that there's a big sin and there's a small sin, but you know, some things are somehow exaggerated, you know. So that was my situation, and I grew up that way. And you know, it's really, let me say, the way people expect us to be is really not right, because it works on your mentality. You get to lose self-confidence at some point, because you really don't, you cannot fit in. You know, you're scared of what people will say, you're scared of what the church will think. So the greatest obstacle you can actually overcome as a pastor's kid is breaking away from what people think, or what the church will think. Because believe me or not, the moment, or the longer you keep that mentality up in your head, you are never going to discover your true potentials, what you are capable of doing. Because you feel like you have this standard which has been set, which you have to grow up in that standard. You know, you have to grow up and become a choir leader, or you have to sing in church, be a youth leader. You know, you feel like your activities should be surrounded, like should revolve around the church. Yeah, that's the right word, to revolve around the church, which is not supposed to be so. There are a lot of things out there which you're kept away from because they consider it the world, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you're kept away from, but there are a lot of opportunities which you can actually explore, but you wouldn't be able to explore those opportunities if you keep thinking about what people will say, what the church will say. Yes, we have our dad's reputation to maintain, and we have the Bible's standard of living which we have to follow on a daily basis as Christians. You have to protect your father's reputation, yes, but there are things there that people will always talk, whether you do or you don't do, people will talk. So you need to discover what is inside you and where you can bring out that hidden talent. Maybe what is going to expose you is not found in the church, it's found outside, and you have to actually be your full self 100%. So you need to take away that mentality of what people will think. What they think is what they'll always think, whether you were doing well or not. So people always be like, oh, if I do this, what will people think? If I do this, what will people think? What would they say? People will always talk. So even you as a pastor's kid, feel free to, explore, discover who you are, break out from that chain of you have to grow to be what the Christians or the congregation expects you to be. There is more inside you which you can explore, and there are other things you can do out there other than revolving your activities around the church. And please don't get me wrong, I am not talking against the church in any way. The church is a very good foundation for growth, yeah, but at the same time, the world is big, which you have to explore here and explore there to see what works for you. So while trying to serve God, keep your father's reputation, don't limit yourself. So that's what I'm trying to say in this video. Don't be limited to what the church leaders, deaconesses, deacons, elders are going to say, what your father is going to think. You got it inside you. So discover your full potentials and explore. Don't let anybody judge you. Don't let people tell you what to become or how they expect you to be. Be yourself and be free, even as a pastor's kid, because we are usually judged a lot. But don't let that get into your head. So we've actually come to the end of this video, and if you're just tuning in, this is Let's Talk with Peculiar, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Guys, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. We can talk more in the comment section, and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever my next video drops. So thank you for watching, and see you on my next video. Bye.